The sun beat down on the bustling streets of Lagos, casting a warm glow over the crowded market stalls and street vendors. Amidst the chaos, John, a humble barrow pusher, navigated the crowded streets with ease, his worn-out sandals making soft slapping sounds on the hot asphalt. His bright smile and infectious laughter made him a familiar face in the neighborhood. In a city where survival is a daily struggle, one friendship would change the course of their lives forever. As John pushed his barrow, he nodded hello to the vendors, exchanging pleasantries and jokes. His eyes sparkled with warmth, and his voice was filled with genuine affection. Among the sea of faces, one person stood out, Mary, his childhood friend, who shared his aspirations and dreams. Mary, with her bright eyes and determined spirit, was a kindred spirit. Growing up in the same neighborhood, they had shared countless memories, laughter, and tears. As they grew older, their friendship deepened, and John's dedication to Mary's education became the focal point of their relationship. Voiceover asterisk, John's unwavering support would be the foundation on which Mary's dreams would be built. The streets of Lagos were unforgiving, but John's determination was unshakable. He worked tirelessly, pushing his barrow through the crowded streets, to fund Mary's education. Every naira he earned was a step closer to a better life. As the days turned into weeks, and the weeks into months, John's sacrifices began to pay off. Mary excelled in school, her grades improving with each passing semester. John's pride and joy knew no bounds as he watched her grow into a confident and determined young woman. Voiceover asterisk, in a world where opportunities were scarce, John's faith in Mary would be the catalyst for her success. The unlikely friendship between John and Mary was forged in the fire of adversity. Despite the odds stacked against them, they found solace in each other's company, their bond growing the stronger with each passing day. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a warm orange glow over the city, John and Mary would often sit on the rooftop, sharing stories and laughter. Their dreams were big, and their determination was greater. In a city that seemed to work against them, they had found a lifeline in each other. In the midst of chaos, their friendship would be the anchor that held them together. The stars began to twinkle in the night sky, and the city lights flickered to life. John and Mary's laughter echoed through the night air, a beacon of hope in a city that often seemed to forget its most vulnerable citizens. As the night wore on, John's thoughts turned to the future. He knew that the road ahead would be long and arduous, but with Mary by his side, he felt a sense of purpose. Together, they would face whatever challenges came their way, their bond growing stronger with each passing day. The night air was filled with the sweet scent of blooming flowers, and the sound of distant laughter carried on the wind. John's heart swelled with emotion as he looked at Mary, her eyes shining with determination. In that moment, he knew that he would do anything to help her achieve her dreams. And so, the journey began. John and Mary, two young souls from the streets of Lagos, embarked on a path that would test their resolve, their friendship, and their love. The city stretched out before them, a vast and unpredictable landscape, but they were ready to face it head-on, side by side. The darkness receded, and the stars shone brighter, casting a guiding light over the city. John and Mary's story was just beginning, a story of hope, perseverance, and the unbreakable bonds of friendship. The days turned into weeks, and the weeks into months. John's sacrifices for Mary's education continued unabated. He worked tirelessly, pushing his barrow through the crowded streets, earning every naira he could to fund Mary's tuition fees. The sun beat down on his back, and his hands were raw and blistered, but he didn't complain. He knew that every sacrifice he made brought Mary closer to her dreams. Voiceover asterisk, as the stakes grew higher, John's determination would be tested like never before. Despite the challenges, Mary's grades continued to improve. She was a bright student, and her hard work paid off. John's pride and joy knew no bounds as he watched her grow into a confident and determined young woman. He would often attend parent-teacher meetings, beaming with pride as Mary's teachers praised her academic achievements. But the sacrifices were taking a toll on John. He would often go hungry, sacrificing his own meals so that Mary could have enough money for her books and school fees. His clothes were tattered, and his sandals were worn out, but he didn't mind. He knew that it was all worth it if it meant that Mary could achieve her dreams. As the years passed, Mary's education became more expensive. John had to work longer hours, pushing his barrow through the crowded streets, to earn enough money to fund her tuition fees. He would often return home exhausted, his body aching from the physical labor, but he would still manage a smile for Mary. Voiceover asterisk, John's sacrifices were not just about money, they were about giving Mary a chance at a better life. Despite the obstacles, Mary thrived. She excelled in school, and her grades improved with each passing semester. John's faith in her was unwavering, and he knew that she would make a better life for herself. He would often tell her, "Mary, you are destined for greatness. Don't let anyone or anything hold you back." As Mary entered her final year of secondary school, the pressure mounted. She had to prepare for her exams, and John knew that she needed a quiet and peaceful place to study. He made the ultimate sacrifice. He gave up his own living space, a small room in a shared apartment, so that Mary could use it to study. John's sacrifices would be the foundation on which Mary's success would be built. The room was small, but it was quiet and peaceful. Mary would study late into the night, her books and notes spread out on the table. John would often sit outside, listening to her read aloud, his heart swelling with pride. He knew that he had made the right decision, sacrificing his own comfort for Mary's education. As the exams approached, Mary's determination grew. She studied hard, poring over her notes and textbooks. John would often encourage her, telling her that she was capable of achieving great things. And when the results were announced, Mary had excelled. She had gotten excellent grades, and her future was bright. John's heart swelled with pride as he looked at Mary's results. He knew that all his sacrifices had been worth it. Mary was going to make a better life for herself, and he was going to be there to support her every step of the way. The sacrifices John made for Mary would change the course of their lives forever. The future was uncertain, but one thing was clear: John and Mary's bond would only grow stronger. They had faced adversity together, and they would face the challenges of the future together. The city stretched out before them, a vast and unpredictable landscape, but they were ready to face it head-on, side by side. Mary's success in her secondary school exams opened doors to new opportunities. She was accepted into a prestigious university, where she would study law. John was overjoyed when he heard the news. He had always known that Mary was destined for greatness. Voiceover asterisk, as Mary's star rose, the distance between them grew, and the question became, would their love be enough to bridge the gap? John's sacrifices had paid off. Mary was on her way to becoming a successful lawyer, and he couldn't be prouder. He would often attend her university functions, beaming with pride as she walked across the stage, her academic robes flowing behind her. But as Mary's career prospects improved, the class divide between them became more apparent. John's humble background and lack of education made him feel like he didn't belong in Mary's new world. He would often wonder if he was good enough for her, if he was worthy of her love and respect. Despite these doubts, John's love for Mary remained unwavering. He continued to support her, attending her university events and encouraging her to pursue her dreams. Mary, too, was grateful for John's sacrifices. She knew that she wouldn't be where she was today without his unwavering support. As Mary entered her final year of law school, she began to think about her future. She had always dreamed of becoming a successful lawyer, but she also knew that she wanted to make a difference in her community. She started volunteering at a local law firm, helping those in need and fighting for justice. Mary's success was not just about achieving her dreams, it was about making a difference in the world. John was proud of Mary's accomplishments. He knew that she was making a difference in her community, and he couldn't be happier. He would often attend her court cases, watching in awe as she argued with passion and conviction. As Mary's graduation day approached, John couldn't help but feel a sense of pride and accomplishment. He had sacrificed so much for her education, but it had all been worth it. Mary was a successful lawyer, and she was making a difference in the world. John's sacrifices had changed Mary's life, but they had also changed his own. John's love for Mary had given him a sense of purpose. He knew that he had made a difference in her life, and that was all that mattered. As they stood together on her graduation day, John knew that their bond would last a lifetime. The future was bright for Mary, and John was excited to see what lay ahead. He knew that she would continue to make a difference in the world, and he would be there to support her every step of the way. As Mary graduated from law school and began her career as a successful lawyer, the societal pressures on their relationship grew. John's humble background and lack of education made him feel like he didn't fit into Mary's new world. He would often wonder if he was good enough for her, if he was worthy of her love and respect. As the world pushed them apart, would they find a way to be together, or would the forces against them prove too strong? Despite John's doubts, Mary's love for him remained unwavering. She knew that he had sacrificed everything for her education, and she was grateful for his love and support. But as she became more successful, she began to feel the pressure from her colleagues and peers. They would often ask her about her background, and she would feel like she had to defend her relationship with John. As the tensions grew, John and Mary's relationship became more strained. They would often argue about their differences, and John would feel like he was losing Mary to her new world. He knew that he couldn't compete with the sophistication and elegance of Mary's new life, and he would often feel like he didn't belong. Despite the challenges, John and Mary's love for each other remained strong. They would often talk about their dreams and aspirations, and they would find comfort in each other's company. But the societal pressures continued to mount, and they knew that they had to find a way to navigate them. As Mary became more successful, she began to realize that she had a platform to make a real difference in the world. She started using her skills to help those in need, and John was proud of her accomplishments. He knew that she was making a difference, and he was happy to support her every step of the way. Their love was not just about romance, it was about two people who had found a sense of purpose in each other. As they navigated the challenges of their relationship, John and Mary knew that their love was strong enough to overcome any obstacle. They were determined to make their relationship work, no matter what the world threw their way. The future was uncertain, but one thing was clear: John and Mary's love would continue to be the foundation on which they built their lives. They knew that they would face challenges and obstacles, but they were ready to face them together. As the years passed, John and Mary's love continued to grow stronger. Despite the societal pressures and challenges they faced, they remained committed to each other. John's sacrifices had paid off, and Mary was a successful lawyer, making a real difference in the world. In the end, it was not the obstacles that defined them, but the love that endured. One day, John decided to take a bold step. He proposed to Mary, and to his delight, she said yes. Their wedding was a beautiful celebration of their love, surrounded by friends, family, and the community they had touched through their work. As they exchanged vows, John and Mary knew that their love would last a lifetime. They had faced challenges and obstacles, but their bond had only grown stronger. They knew that they would continue to support each other through the ups and downs of life. Their love story was one of hope and perseverance, a reminder that true love can conquer all. Years later, John and Mary were still together, happy and content. They had built a life filled with love, laughter, and adventure. John's sacrifices had paid off, and Mary was living her dream. They knew that their love would continue to be the foundation on which they built their lives, and they were grateful for every moment they spent together. As they looked back on their journey, John and Mary knew that their love had been the key to overcoming the obstacles they faced. They had found a sense of purpose in each other, and their bond had grown stronger with each passing day. Their love story would be etched in their hearts forever, a reminder of the power of true love and sacrifice. And so, John and Mary's story came full circle. They had faced challenges and obstacles, but their love had endured. They had found a sense of purpose in each other, and their bond would last a lifetime. Their love story would be a beacon of hope for generations to come, a reminder that true love can conquer all.